Hello there, welcome to this presentation brought to you by SMT Capital. This presentation is about the Turkish Lira and potential trading opportunities that could be on the horizon to buy the Lira. So let's get started. What you need to know about Turkey and the Turkish Lira. Turkey is currently facing a currency and inflation crisis and has done for many years now. If you bring up a chart of the Lira, you'll see nothing but weakness. And over the last couple of weeks, we've seen even greater weakness for the Turkish Lira. So why is there a currency and inflation crisis? Well, it really comes down to the political leader of Turkey, Erdogan, and his stance on monetary policy. So for many years, Turkey has faced high inflation. Now, the orthodox approach to high inflation is to put interest rates up to tackle rising inflation, to bring inflation down. Now, Erdogan has refused to do this. He's even sacked central bankers who have suggested that they need to put interest rates up. It's totally seen as unorthodox, unprofessional, very concerning, hence why inflation is still mega high in Turkey and why there's a currency crisis. There's no safety. There is too much uncertainty in investing in the Lira. So Turkey's facing this currency crisis where it continues to weaken because there are not people willing to invest. Now, there's potential change on the horizon. Things could be changing for Turkey. And if we see interest rates increase, we could see strength return to the Turkish Lira. Uncertainty could fade, and perhaps it's beginning to fade already. And I'll go through these things in this video. So what has happened? What has changed over the last month for Turkey? Well, they had an election, 14th of May 2023, just under a month ago. And Erdogan stayed in power, but just slightly. So the political pressure on Erdogan was much greater than previous elections. He barely stayed in power. Now this political pressure on Erdogan, obviously he wants to stay in power. This pressure may be moving him to make some changes and have a more orthodox approach to monetary policy and perhaps bring interest rates up. Now, what gave some hope to this was the appointment of Mehmet Şimşek as the finance minister, who is a lot more stable, is a lot more orthodox in his approach to monetary policy. Following that, on the 9th of June 2023, a new chief for the Central Bank of Turkey was announced. Hafisa Gaye Erkan, first female central bank chief for Turkey, which is great, well done to her. She was appointed on the 9th of June 2023. This is potentially very good news for Turkey. She's very orthodox in her approach to monetary policy. She's very experienced. She's an ex-Goldman Sachs employee. The combination of her as the central bank chief for the Central Bank of Turkey and the appointment of Mehmet Şimşek as the finance minister is giving some hope that things could start changing, that the approach to monetary policy in Turkey could change, that interest rates could actually start going up instead of coming down, which they have been doing in recent years. So looking at the data for Turkey, we're seeing growth, PMI is looking good. Some of these figures are actually better than EU countries, even the UK. So there is positive data for Turkey, and there has been for a really long time. There are concerns, obviously the unemployment rate, the inflation rate, there are concerns. What's causing the Turkish Lira to sell off so strongly has been this unorthodox approach to monetary policy, not necessarily the economic indicators I've listed here and other economic indicators. But the reason why I wanted to include this slide is just to show that there are good things happening in Turkey, and as an emerging market, it has a lot of potential if it can just sort its monetary policy out. So looking at the chart of the US dollar Turkish Lira, this is what we see, just continual selling of the Turkish Lira. Things are not looking good. If we look at that weekly RSI there, it's 98.81. I think it was even high on the daily chart. We were over 99 on that overbought RSI. But it's not the RSI that's driving this market, and it's not the RSI that's going to cause a turnaround in this market. It's going to be if Turkey start putting interest rates up and the chance of positive monetary policy continues. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go and buy the Turkish Lira after watching this presentation. Nothing is guaranteed. I'm not suggesting that you should short US dollar Turkish Lira based on what I've gone through in this presentation. What I am suggesting is we are starting to see a possible light that could turn things around for the Lira. Now, if we do see some downside to US dollar Turkish Lira or any pair against the Lira, we could see some sharp moves down, just as we've seen some sharp moves up. But also that interest rate is so high, and if we look at the current interest rate for Turkey, it's 8.5%. If they start putting rates up, the interest rate is going to be so high, the swap rate is going to be so good for buying the Lira, that you could see some fantastic swing trades with very positive overnight swap rates, positive interest charged to your trading accounts. So just a brief video going through what's happening in Turkey and what we could see happen in the near future.